Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurts about a guide until the end. BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurts about a guide until the end.
Oh, we back at it again. Jay, Jeremy, Miriam, Ryan, friends until the end. What's new this week? That is our mission. Spoiler leaks, not our ambition. Call us geeks, come on now listen. Black and nerdy's our position.
Blurred boys, y'all know what to expect. Enter the podcast, we come in correct. Survivalist world, we coming for the throne. Blurred boys, survivalist zone.
BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurts about a guide until the end. BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurts about a guide until the end. Hey, 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 hey.
Taylor.
It's the Blurts about a guide. It's the Blurts about a guide. It's the Blurts about a guide.
Yep. Hey, all right, we did it.
Woo!
Full on intro. Look at that.
Full intro.
Look at us.
Ooh,
This is kind of weird, ain't it?
I'm not sure how I feel about
look
it.
who's on camera.
Hello.
Look
Hey.
at this.
Welcome back to another episode of Blurred Survival Guide. I am your host behind the camera this week, Jeremy. We're missing Jay this week. He is out of town, being his fancy self, working and whatnot.
Doing the good work.
I hit that applause button.
Lord's work.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
something like that. But yeah, it is a Bizarro World episode today. We got Miriam and Ryan on the camera. Look at them. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Yeah, and I'm gonna be kind of quiet this episode because the topic of discussion is definitely out of my wheelhouse. And yeah, we will go from there. We do have some other guests beside us. They may hop on, they may not. We'll see. But we will see. All right, and without further ado, give it up one more time for Miriam and Ryan.
Wow. What a crowd, Ryan.
Oh my goodness, y'all are too kind.
So incredible. Thank
This
you
is
guys
the
so
best.
very much. Wow.
Ugh.
It's been long overdue, Ryan.
Right?
Yeah.
We've needed to do this episode for a while,
It's
you
been a
know?
minute. Even though we just talked about it last week for the
Right.
first time. What are we talking about?
So today we're going to cover the original shows from the USA Network.
Original, not to be confused with ones that are currently airing.
So the USA Network is known for the wrestling and for the reruns of NCIS.
And the Chrisley family.
The Chrisley family.
Yeah.
They're in jail now,
Yeah.
in case you needed to keep
Still
up
airing
with
the
the
show,
Chrisleys.
though. You can catch it on USA Network.
And it's not allegedly. They are, in fact, in prison.
Yes.
Pay your taxes. It's important.
It's currently tax season, so please
Please.
do your taxes.
But
Shout out taxes.
shout out to tax season.
Sponsor us, Turbo.
Actually, that's a great segue into the first
Oh, the first show?
show,
That is-
because we can talk about white collar,
We can
because
talk about white collar.
white collar crimes, and it was actually my introduction to Matt Bomer.
Mine too. Absolutely.
And what an awakening that was. White Collar was a show about a criminal who, played by Matt Bomer, who gets arrested and decides to become an informant so he doesn't have to go to jail.
Right.
Isn't
And
that how I always go?
basically.
All right.
And they took like the whole buddy cop thing and tried to flip it on its head a little bit, but it just was a criminal being a good guy and then realizing that he enjoys not being a criminal.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I only watched the first 3 seasons, I think.
I watched way too much of White Collar.
It was on for a while, 2009 to 2014. That's a pretty good run. What's your question, Ansley?
My
Oh, Ashley
question
on the
about
mic.
White Collar was this the beginning of the like flipped buddy cop thing, like Lucifer and Castle?
It's one of the first ones.
Yeah.
For sure. I know it was White Collar and then The Mentalist as well was
that
the other one that started to flip
show.
it. Shout out to TNT.
Good show. The Mentalist, and then also Liar.
Liar.
With I don't remember his name, but it was similar to The Mentalist.
That's one of those shows that I forget exist until somebody mentions it. I'm like, oh my God,
It was a good show.
it's amazing.
It had a good run.
White Collar is credited for getting Matt Bomer the iconic role in Magic Mike.
I didn't realize
What?
that.
Yeah. White Collar was like Matt Bomer had been
elaborate,
doing,
please.
like, theater and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like had been like a small actor, and then White Collar happened, and people realized not only is he pretty, he can act too.
Mm.
Like there are times in White Collar where you
it
will
really
cry.
was White Collar and then Magic Mike. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. But White Collar, he's he's really good. He makes the show what it is.
Yeah, if you replace Matt Bomer with anybody in White Collar, I'd say that show does not work.
Yeah.
The two leads in that work perfectly well. Where it's if either of them leave, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Jared and Jensen situation where if you take one of them out of Supernatural, it just kind of falls
the
apart.
Whole point.
Yeah.
Whole point. He's just a very versatile actor. And then then he did the next big thing he did was American Horror Story Hotel.
Terrifying.
That was insane.
I
So good.
I watched Hotel and cried every episode because it's just unnecessary.
Lady Gaga first.
And Sarah Paulson doing that thing with her teeth
Oh yeah.
in that one episode, just anyways.
Sarah Paulson just in general. We could do a whole episode of American Horror.
She gonna scream. If there's one thing Sarah Paulson gonna do,
and smoke
She
a
gonna
cigarette.
scream.
she'll scream and smoke a cigarette, possibly at the same time and possibly while smiling at
Yeah.
you. Ooh.
Acting.
Anywho, White Collar.
That's White Collar.
What's the name of the guy? Peter. His
He. All right, I used to get him, and this is really bad, but I used to get him and the dad from Modern Family confused all the time.
Phil Dunphy.
Yes, I used to swear.
You still talking about White Collar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
He Tim DeKay is he plays Peter. Is that who you're? Yeah.
Yes, I was like, oh, they're the same person, but they are
I
in
see
fact. See, I'm not crazy.
With facial hair for
Thank you for validating
No,
that.
I see it without facial hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that yeah.
I
It's
guess
like
I feel like I knew Phil Dunphy first, so I think that's why it was hard to. I don't. What is his name?
Ty Burrell.
Ty Burrell. Did you know
Yeah,
he's
he played
mixed?
Mr. Peabody.
Did you know he has some some black in him? Ty Burrell. It's like
In the podcast, don't we?
anyway. That's just a fun little fact.
Yeah.
It's a sprinkling. You know how things be doing, but it's in there.
He wouldn't pass the drop test if that's what you're saying.
No, probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Ty Burrell.
Woo!
White Collar.
White Collar. Hey, he was in Glee.
I didn't watch
You-
the ending.
He was in Glee.
Really?
Matt Bomer, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Y'all kept saying all the other shows. I was like, no,
I didn't watch
definitely.
Glee.
He was he Shoe's brother?
Yes, he wasn't in Glee for very long.
No, it was like literally special guest star.
I can
type
see that.
deal.
He's
But it's a Ryan Murphy
much
production.
more attractive
Also the thing,
brother. Mr.
Who
Murphy.
don't get in trouble with kids. That's also another discussion.
Oof.
Oh, really? He did?
No, I mean like, what's his name? Just Will Schuester.
Yeah.
And children. Just
Oh, in general.
yeah.
Got it.
Glee was a social experiment, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
I've only seen bits and pieces. I did not watch that.
Glee was a social experiment.
Oh, I remember the time.
Yeah.
I remember the Glee era. It paved the way for
Theater kids everywhere.
well, yes,
To
it
act
gave
like
us an
psychopaths in
avenue.
public.
But also Pitch Perfect.
Okay.
Without Glee, you didn't have Pitch Perfect.
I feel like we would have had Pitch Perfect without Glee, though.
You think?
I think so, because we had the sing off,
I think so.
and acapella and show choir are two different squads.
Yes. But as far as like
It probably
an
wouldn't have been
audience,
as popular.
right? It wouldn't have been as popular.
But Pitch Perfect would have come out and probably would have still been all right, standing on its own, not being compared to Glee.
I mean, I'm not comparing them. I just think like it's the reason it could happen.
This is true.
It could be like a blockbuster with 3 movies. Otherwise, I don't think it would have had the audience. Glee made
We should look into that, actually.
should.
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
the date on?
A deep dive.
You say it's a social experiment.
It is a social experiment.
I used to say the Cup song, y'all. That had a grip on our children. So did every weekly number
Our
from
children,
Glee.
us.
I'm
what you
gonna
mean?
say I'm gonna
I was a
gonna be being completely honest. I can never do the cup song like the.
Oh, I tried.
I could beatbox it. I can do the choreographer speak for it,
Mm-hmm.
but I can never actually sit there and.
One summer
Do
camp,
it.
I was about to
able
say-
to get it down, and then that was
One church camp weekend up in Tennessee, I had the whole mess hall in the palm of my hands with that cup. Like
theater,
it was
like theater camp. That was
Yeah.
if you weren't doing the Cup song for your end of summer showcase. What were you doing in 2008 through 2012? Because obviously you weren't winning.
Yeah, no, Pitch Perfect definitely came out in the height of Glee. Because like first movie came out in 2012. Glee was from 2009 to 2015.
Look at what Matt Balmer did. Look at his power. He took us from White Collar to the Cup Song.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Connections.
What a range.
That's a more wild connect. That's almost on the level as 9/11 causing 50 Shades of Grey. So.
Well, if it caused 50 Shades of Grey, then it caused Twilight. Because Twilight caused
So.
Grey.
No, that's a whole.
9/11 inspired Gerard Way to start My Chemical Romance, which
Right.
inspired Stephanie Meyer to write Twilight, who inspired E.L. James to write Twilight fans fiction, which became 50 Shades of Grey,
What a
which gets
connection.
shown on USA. Wow. Brought it back.
You did bring it back.
You were doubting me. Anyway, what's your next show?
I was about to say, let's please move on to the
USA?
next. Yeah,
It's our show. This is our episode.
Excuse me.
I have to bring up my first USA show. I want you to imagine it's 2007. Miriam, a 13-year-old Miriam, has just moved to the United States and is horrified. She turns on her TV, not knowing what to expect. And up pops the gorgeous face of, I cannot remember his name, but Monk. The show
Tony
Monk.
Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub.
All right.
What a man. First recognized, first known because Spy Kids. Duh.
Right.
He plays the, you know who I'm
The
talking about.
doctor who gets turned into hands.
And multiple
Yeah.
man. And he is playing a detective who is severely impacted by his OCD and his germophobia and a bit of agoraphobia, if I'm being honest. But that show, like, it ran for 11 seasons?
At least. It was on
It was on
forever.
for a long
yeah.
time. And then they made they're coming out with
They're
a movie.
this is announced that they're
There's
movie.
a new movie?
They're coming
They
out.
just
with a
announced that
movie.
they're making a new movie, bringing back the entire cast.
Yep.
125 episodes, 2002 to 2009.
8 seasons. Okay, not as long as I thought. It felt like it was on for
That's because
forever.
they keep replaying it.
Yeah, that's why. But man, first of all, the cast, the writing, the character development in the show.
I never watched Monk in chronological order. So I would just catch it whenever it was on before something else I was trying to watch.
Yeah.
And I always really enjoyed it and was really into what they were doing. And every time it looked like it was one of those shows that would definitely be able to progress in a way and have a character go from being just kind of a general asshole to yay.
You like the man that you were rooting for.
Yeah.
And I've rewatched it once since it finished airing because I would watch it with my mom when it was airing.
Mhm.
And then
Cute.
I rewatched it once in college. 10 out of 10 would recommend it as a rewatch. I'm probably due for another rewatch.
New show.
It's so good. You're going to love it. It's so good. If you haven't watched it yet, get on Tony Shalhoub because he is underappreciated. And the final season of Marvelous Miss Maisel that he is also in is about to air. So give him his flowers and watch Monk. Thank you.
And that was a PSA brought to you by Miriam Senator. So my next show is a very short-lived show, but it starred one of my favorite theater actors of all time, and that is Graceland with Aaron Tveit.
Oh,
Graceland was about a house in Beverly Hills or L.A. On the beach called Graceland, and it was a hub for 5 or 6 FBI agents who all worked undercover, who all lived together, and chaos ensues from there. And the draw was Aaron Tveit because it's Aaron Tveit, and who doesn't want to look at Aaron Tveit? I'm going to see how many times I can say.
I didn't realize there was a 3rd season starring Aaron Tveit.
Yeah.
I realize I'm following the trend of saying
Mhm.
his name a lot.
And so in the show, Aaron Tveit is a young FBI agent who is kind of a screw up.
Hey, yo, the internet's favorite daddy's in this show. Pedro Pascal.
Yes, sir.
He is? When is Pedro Pascal in Graceland?
He's Agent Juan Badillo.
I don't remember.
It's brief.
It must have been just a cameo.
It's Graceland is a show that if you watch it, it's a great binge because all of the storylines are very short, and when it's a tiny show.
Yeah.
The seasons aren't 22, 24 episodes. They can fly through it, and everybody gets development that feels necessary. Aaron Tveit's character goes through everything, and you also can watch him leave the show sometimes because he has to go do things on Broadway.
Wow.
There's episodes where he's just not there.
Who do they get to replace him?
Nobody. His character's doing things.
Oh,
They just say so and so.
Yeah, he's out working,
He's out on a.
and then he just kind of pops in. There's like there's like in the middle of the second season, he did like a short, like one of those like special runs on Broadway. So there's 2 episodes where he's just not there, and then they find him like beat up somewhere, and they're like, "What happened?" And he was like, "Oh, they got me."
Oh, they got me.
oh, they got me. Wow.
But if you like action things that have a surprising amount of well written drama in it, I'd highly recommend Graceland.
Hell yeah.
Some of the people that are in the show, because I do not remember their names, but everybody in that show is acting their absolute ass off. And there's a couple of the Burn Notice guys make cameos in the show, not as their
Like if it's as the Burn Notice character.
not as their Burn Notice
That'd be
characters.
cool crossover.
which
What a
was
USA crossover.
So unfortunate. I mean, it's not like Bruce Campbell or anybody. It's the guy that plays Jesse in Burn Notice and one of the villains.
We got a Power Ranger who's in this.
Oh yeah, Manny.
There's
Montana from Good Girls.
yes.
Oh yeah, he
That's
was
how I
in
met
that.
him.
Yeah. I forgot he was in Graceland.
What an introduction.
I feel like USA does that is really
It's
good
a great
about casting.
bouncing point because Rami Malek. That's how we
how
figured out who he was.
Okay, might as well segue.
Let's do it.
Mr. Robot.
Go for it. Let him have it.
I didn't even realize first that this was a USA show. I watched it on Amazon.
I thought it was HBO.
HBO. Yeah, it was HBO.
It
Oh
is
my!
fully a USA original.
Shout out to Seth. He's the one who told us to watch that show, and oh my gosh,
You need to watch Mr. Robot because
who's seen Mr. Robot in this room? Have you seen Mr. Robot? Dang,
spoiler room brawl is crazy.
it's so good.
Like
It's one of those shows where you're questioning your sanity most
Censor
of the
button on
time.
lock.
Say what?
Censor button on lock.
No.
Any spoilers?
I'm gonna be honest. I could literally tell you the entire plot of the show, and until you watch it, you will not understand it.
That's fair. Wait, I'd like to see you try.
You got
Want me to try to do it without spoiling it?
in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes? All right. So, Mr. Robot is about a hacker who just cannot function in his life, and he has been through so much things, and he just he feels like he's being watched by an evil corporation. It's very like representative of like Amazon, Disney, Tesla, Facebook, all that. And he basically decides to shut down the world, and he meets this guy who looks suspiciously like his father, and whose named is Mr. Robot, and they launch a cyber attack on this company and basically try to reset the world's economy.
Minute 30.
And I'm like halfway done, and there's as they progress, you meet his team, and then it falls apart, and then you just realize that everything, especially Rami Malek, is not who he seems, and he's not who he seems the entire time. So yeah, watch Mr. Robot. If you like computers, you like tearing down the world government, and if you hate capitalism, Mr. Robot is the show for you. It is the most anti-capitalist show of all time.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
It's amazing,
And I feel like it's one of those shows that only gets more and more relevant.
which is so scary.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. It's so good. It's a good binge too. It's what?
it's quick.
like
It's only like 30 episodes
it's not
total.
very
I think.
long.
What?
Yeah,
It's not long.
I think every season is 10 episodes.
Because it was one of the more later USA.
It's one of the first shows where they could actively curse on TV, on the USA Network. Where
Oh,
it
it's
was
like later on down the line where you
Yeah.
can say like,
shit. And
There's 45 episodes. It's
45
4
episodes.
seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely worth a binge.
All right. So the next show that we would like to bring to your attention is called Royal Pains.
Royal Pains.
And Royal Pains is one of my favorite dramedies. It's about 2 brothers who live, I think it's Miami.
Yeah.
And one of them is a doctor, and the other one runs the business. And they just... Was I wrong? No. One of them is a doctor, and the other one runs the business.
Oh, where are
Where are
they?
they?
They're like on the East Coast.
OR.
Where do rich people
Oh, the Hamptons.
Oh, that's right. They're in the Hamptons.
It's unnecessary roughness or necessary roughness. I got that wrong.
Burn Notice is also in Miami.
This is in Miami.
Burn Notice is the one that's in Miami. But anyway, I digress. They are correctly
In the Hamptons.
In the Hamptons.
Excuse me.
He's the doctor for the rich.
Yes. It's also we haven't mentioned this, but this is a very diverse cast
The Royal Pains?
too. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We have the 2 white dudes that are the leads, but
They're also
everybody
Jewish.
else, they're also all right. Ethnicities.
Say, what? Feuerstein,
Yes.
Mark Feuerstein, and Paolo Costanzo.
This is a show for people that think Grey's Anatomy is too much, but soap operas are too little. It like rides that very narrow lane of being able to like exist in a world where that seems realistic,
I'd agree with that.
where
Yeah.
it won't make you feel bad about yourself.
It's also episodic while also still carrying
Yeah.
a plot line.
They do a very good job of making it feel like you can miss an episode and not miss
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. The episode that sticks out to me is I will never forget. He is trying to figure out what's going on with this teen boy who's like losing motor function. He used to be a football player and he's like all of a sudden losing motor function, and they're like he must have some like rare neurological disease, and then all of a sudden they find a tick in his ear from the football field, and that episode just
Take it out. Yeah.
that
This is also one of my favorite shows about doctors because unlike most doctors, he doesn't commit any crimes.
facts.
I'll just make the direct comparison. Between him and Meredith Grey should be in prison for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
There's just so much unethical things that happens in that show.
Oh, from the very beginning.
Oof. Didn't she kidnap a child
Yeah.
a couple times?
Yeah. I think I only remember once, but I stopped watching after Garrett and one of them died. After one of them died. She did just have her exit on the Never-Ending series.
Oh yeah,
That's definitely like the one piece of hospital dramas. It just don't
it
end.
really is.
It just don't end.
It
Well,
won't.
ER was the same way. ER was
knew
the
what it is,
original Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
If you don't know, now you know. And it went on for like 15 something, maybe even more than that. I don't even know.
We on 20 for Grey's now?
For Grey's?
I was about to say ER was
19? Okay.
Okay, ER was 1994 to 2009, and that had 15 seasons.
15 seasons, yeah.
Grey's.
Yeah, that's right.
Give me a second.
I'm going 20.
I like being a fact checker. I like this side. This is fun.
Yeah.
We have fun.
It's great back there.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about keeping your face straight.
That's what I have.
Grey's it's already surpassed. It says 2005 to
Current.
Yep.
So
Episode guide. We are on currently season 19.
wow.
That's crazy.
That's a long ass time, y'all.
Apparently, there's only 2 episodes left in season 19
Gasp.
or 3,
And now like all the original characters except for Bailey.
except the 2 black people. Yes. That don't
Wow. Wow. Do you still watch it? Wow, that's commitment.
If
That is commitment.
if Bailey leaves the show,
Oh, okay. But still.
if Bailey leaves that show, I'm not watching it anymore. I watch it with you occasionally. I walk through and then I have opinions and then I leave.
The presence of Grey's Anatomy is in Ryan's household, and he will have no more if Dr. Bailey is not there.
No. She's the lifeblood of that show.
I'm not even going to walk through and make comments anymore. That's how bad I'm not going to watch it anymore. Nope.
Okay, so I feel like we can't go through a USA Network episode talk without mentioning the show that gave us the true Queen of England,
Whoa.
Miss Meghan Markle, on Suits, which is also one of the top 10 best dramas of all time.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't watched Suits, it's about a guy that is a criminal but he has a photographic memory and he gets hired at a law firm that only hires from Harvard, but he didn't go to Harvard, and chaos ensues.
Because no Harvard.
But he's like the greatest lawyer of all time. It's Patrick J. Adams, Gabriel Macht, Meghan Markle, fantastic cast. Jessica, what's her name? Her name's Jessica Pearson in the show.
Gina Torres.
Gina Torres
Oh yeah.
carries
Dule
that
Hill.
show. Briefly,
Wendell Pierce.
also briefly, Wendell Pierce is terrifying on that show because he plays Meghan Markle's dad.
Is that the show that he goes shit? No, that's not the character. Never mind.
That's a different black person.
Well, no, it's just like I saw a TikTok where this guy was like going shit like every episode.
Yeah, no, that's not him.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, she's so good. Gina Torres.
Suits.
Pearson. Yeah.
Suits as a show, kind of. It also before I get into plot points, I just gotta talk about the music in Suits because Suits introduced me to Jacob Banks, because in his song "Worthy," I think it's middle of like the 3rd season. Rachel and Patrick are having their problems, and he walks out, and there's the whole dramatic like New York establishing shots, and Worthy is playing in the background, and it changed my life.
Wow.
But I watched that show. That's I think that's the only USA show that I can say I watched every episode as it aired.
Oh wow.
Like made a point to watch them as they aired. I didn't just like record it and then run down.
Went back, yeah.
I was like, I got over because it was a summer show. It started in like March and then ended in like July. It was amazing.
I only watched the 1st season of Suits.
You should go back and watch the rest.
I
of
should
Suits.
go back and watch Suits.
It gets really good, and also Donna is the best character ever written.
It's had a slight resurgence on the talk.
It has.
Of it.
Because of Duchess Meghan Markle.
No, just it's
As
literally
people-
like the first episode where like dude is getting interviewed by the Harvard lawyer, and it makes you wonder why is he so good at this? Where does he get his photographic memory? And yeah, it grabbed my interest on TikTok a couple times. It's like
It's a really cool show. It's one that benefits from being both like kind of like Royal Pains, where it's both episodic, but it also carries very long. It's another show that is a very easy binge. They don't just like throw a bunch of lawyer speak at you and they're like expect you to catch up. They like find creative ways to like explain what they're doing while not like breaking the illusion. It's not as aggressive as like The Big Short, where it was like Selena Gomez in a bathtub explaining you how stocks work. It was like they would do it in their conversations. If you haven't seen The Big Short, watch The Big Short. It's a great movie. It's Oscar nominated. It did not win Best Picture, but it came very close.
is that the one with Steve Carell?
When did it come out?
It was 2016. It was the same class as Creed and Mad Max and.
Oh wow!
Did Creed win that year?
No.
No.
What one?
Creed won an Oscar, I thought.
Spotlight. Brooklyn and The Room.
Oh,
Yes, it was that
yeah.
year.
What was that? 2015.
Yeah, 2015.
15. Yes.
Boom.
Yeah, Steve Carell's in it.
Ryan
Christian
Gosling.
Bale, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt.
It's also one of Christian Bale's best performances,
That's
just
fancy.
of like acting. He is acting,
What?
and it's all like everything that he does in that show is like based on a true story, and so oof. But anyway, Suits.
You mean Gore the God Butcher's not his best acting work?
I think his best acting work is from the movie Newsies.
I honestly,
Ooh.
I agree. Are you Ryan Gosling? Yeah.
No, I'm
no,
talking
Christian
about
Bale.
Christian
Christian
Bale.
Bale.
Oh yeah, Newsies is definitely Christian Bale's best work.
Absolutely.
100%.
Have you seen?
Yes.
All right, cool. I was about to say.
100%. Well, I can't believe I've never heard of The Big Short.
The fact that Jay has seen it before me.
That's crazy.
Newsies.
Yeah, he saw Newsies. Like he saw the movie version. I saw the Broadway
Broadway.
version first. But yeah, no, that actually,
Boy, acting.
actually,
Acting.
Kenny Ortega knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Shout out to Kenny.
Woo!
What's your next show?
Burn Notice. That
Most memeable show on the USA Network.
it was fun. It was a fun show. I remember when it came. I remember the summer it came out. Did all USA shows start in the summer, or like spring, summertime?
It was
They just-
Burn Notice was a summer show.
all these
It
pictures
was.
that I see on IMDb, they look like they're all set in the summer. Like every show that
I
y'all
mean,
Well, it's
mentioned.
Miami.
Yeah, that
so
show
it's
is like deep in Miami, and they
summer
go
all the
only
time,
farther south.
apparently.
Burn Notice has one of my favorite intros because they never changed it
It stayed the same.
through the entire show.
It stayed the same.
You've been burned. Chaos.
I'm trying to remember how it ends, and I cannot remember the ending.
Oh, you got teacher scrubs on there.
I mean, basically, it's this guy trying to figure out why
Why he got betrayed by the CIA.
why the CIA just like
Abandoned him.
completely abandoned him.
So in the spy world, apparently, if If you mess up too bad and you get left out alone, it's called being burned. And a burn notice is them letting you know that you have been burned. Right. So the show starts with him going on a mission and causing too much destruction, and then him getting a phone call from the CIA and being like, hey, you're on your own, you've been burned, which turns into the intro for the rest of the show. And Bruce Campbell is in it and is incredible. The whole supporting cast just makes that show. I think it's a show that's, even though it is a very weirdly shot show, the sepia tones are weird.
It was very of its time. 2007, for some reason, just loved sepia.
It is like, if you could ask me how I was feeling in 2007, I could probably just show you the first season of Burn Notice.
Were you feeling sepia? Were you feeling sepia?
I need a filter.
Yeah.
No.
A sepia tone filter.
Yeah.
It's like the original Instagram. It's like over.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm only a square.
Right.
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
of how big you could post.
man, the worst I've ever been roasted by my sister was when I tried to post a picture in like the sepia filter, and I was trying to be artsy, and she was like, Ryan. I was like, my bad. I'm sorry. I'll never do that again.
Never ever again.
No sepia tone. No like
No.
film.
The film.
Yeah.
the fake film strip.
Oh my god. Honestly, bring back OG Instagram filters.
I think everything went
Bring back
downhill with
Claire
our
and Don.
society. I think society really started taking it downhill when we changed the Instagram logo from the original like camera to whatever the fuck it is now.
To the fake camera logo.
Yeah. I think that was the downhill. Just ever since then.
Good old Instagram.
Insta.
No, it started going downhill when it wanted to be every other app.
Absolutely.
In its own app.
When it turned into Snapchat.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
real downfall of Instagram. When it wanted
Yeah.
to be Snapchat, then it wanted to be Facebook, then every app afterward that came out after it. It's like, all right, I'm gonna be Vine. Nope, now I'm gonna be TikTok. Nope, now I'm gonna be this. It was like, oh, chill
Yep.
out. You were a photo album for people.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That is what you do.
What is your purpose?
Burn Notice. Honestly, probably one of my favorite on-screen couples
Yes.
is Gabrielle Anwar, who plays Fiona, and Jeffrey Donovan, who plays Michael. Their chemistry, like
It's so good. And
13-year-old me was just quaking
every
with
time
that
they
chemistry.
fight, I got so sad, but I was like, ooh,
they love each other. Yeah.
so much.
good.
They can't live without each other, and they couldn't.
They couldn't.
Oh,
And they got there eventually. We knew it before they did, but
remember when she punched him, and he was like, "Why would you do that?" And she was like, "Stop being dumb."
you're being an idiot.
Also, passes the Bechdel test
Oh yeah, it does.
in a really weird way. I did not expect it to. I did go back and check out some Burn Notice episodes just to like see how it holds up, and it holds up fairly well.
I haven't rewatched it since it was on.
I say it holds up in writing and not the way it's shot, but like the writing and like how they make everybody have a purpose. Like nobody is just there to fill camera space.
Yeah.
Everybody has something to do,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody has their own problems at some point in time. But it all does come back to Michael.
We really just had a whole episode of shows that either you need to watch if you haven't watched them, or just like rewatching. I need to binge. I have a whole week this week where I have. Are we good?
No, you're good. Yeah.
Oh. I have a whole week this week where I'm the only person who is watching the television, so
Ooh.
I get to choose what to watch.
Hey,
And I
Yeah,
know
Jay, you
this-
hear that?
watch
doing
all of
nothing.
these USA shows.
you ain't got no choice.
No choice. He's fine. He's living his best life.
He be all right.
So the last one I would like to talk about is Necessary Roughness.
I didn't watch this one.
I had a soft spot for Necessary Roughness because I thought it was going to be a really stupid show, if I was being honest, and it kept getting more and more interesting because at first it was the premise of Necessary Roughness. It's about a therapist who works with high-profile athletes and celebrities,
Oh, cool.
and that is it. And her main client is a football player, is a wide receiver who plays in the NFL and is like one of the best wide receivers, but he gets in his head so much that it just messes up his entire game. And she like helps him out of that.
This sounds like it's right up my alley.
It's a great show. And then I think it's 3 or 4 seasons in, there's a cast switch up. So like the originals, like except for the main lady, she gets a job working for another company run by John Stamos, and chaos ensues.
I remember when John Stamos came on. I didn't realize he wasn't on it the whole time.
No, so he comes. I think it's literally the third season.
Oh, and that's the final season?
So I was looking at, I typed it into IMDb, and the first thing that popped up was a 1991 movie starring Scott Bakula and Hector Elizondo from Princess Diaries, and I was very confused. I was like,
That ain't it.
What is going on?
Not
All
it.
right, here's the show. 38 episodes, 3 seasons.
That's so short.
Yeah. It wasn't
That makes
the
sense.
best show, but it was a show that was very watchable, and it was a show that every time you watched it, you would leave feeling good, unless they didn't want you to, in which case the next episode you would leave feeling good.
Wow. All right.
It was never there was never a lot of like long drawn out conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was the overarching conflicts, but there was every episode kind of had a resolution where she has her main client who is the football player, and then goes on to being John Stamos, but she has like other clients that she sees every day and like throughout all
So
of
it's
that.
still that same episodic,
Yeah.
general plot line. Okay,
But
cool.
all of it is like a bunch of really good life lessons that are
Mhm.
taught in a very nice way, and she learns lessons through like about being a parent and doing all sorts of things. It's also one of those shows that kind of kick-started careers a little bit.
Another one.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he went on to play Jimmy Olsen.
McCad Brooks.
Nicad Brooks. He went on to
He
play.
played Jax in Mortal Kombat.
Yes, sir.
Can't say I'm familiar with that either.
I mean, it's okay.
I mean, for all my BET folks, he played that one dude. But
He was in Supergirl.
He wasn't Supergirl, but he had that bad wig in that one movie, and yeah, it was not good.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, he was in Law and Order, like the reboot of Law and Order. He replaced Anthony Anderson.
Oh.
Because Anthony Anderson was in like the first season of the reboot.
Max Medina.
Uh,
Max Medina's in it?
yeah.
Wow. Scott Cohen. He plays Nico. He's from Gilmore Girls.
It's a fun show.
Who?
You should also watch Gilmore Girls.
I mean, it's 2023. What are you doing if you haven't? That could be, Ansley and I could do a whole episode on Gilmore
I'll
Girls.
say virtually anything
Honestly,
else.
that sounds, let's do it. Okay.
Switch up. Here you go.
And cut. I'm trying to see if I recognize, I don't know anybody else who's in that.
It's a lot of character.
But I guess that's the Danielle Panabaker. Love Danielle Panabaker. You know what movie I rewatched recently? It's a Lifetime movie. It's called I'm Pregnant. Danielle Panabaker plays a teen mother. It's very heartwarming.
What was her sister's name?
Danielle and
Kay.
Panabaker. Read it and weep. Loved that movie. Great decom.
This is.
I thought Kay was gonna have the more star power than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Once Sky High came out, it was over for Kay.
That's
true.
what happened. That's what happened.
Unfortunately.
Because I thought like Kay was like in all the decoms and everything.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Danielle hit Sky High, and I'm like, oh.
All right, Jeremy.
the Flash.
Death Battle.
Oh.
Kay and Danielle Panabaker. Ali and AJ.
Oh, there's really no competition. Who's still relevant?
Who wins that fight?
Allie and AJ.
I was saying just like Miriam just said.
Ali and AJ.
AJ. Not really a competition.
Selling out a
there.
tour right
I
now.
was just saying they got a TikTok right now.
They're
Man.
selling out a
Panabaker's
tour.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
doing.
They're really bringing back the good vibes for this new album.
Say Danielle Panabaker.
They did the
literally
dance from what's it? Cowbells? Not cowbells.
Is it not cowbells?
It is cowbells.
It is cowbell.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
not
I thought-
cowbells.
Yeah.
I thought that I was like, there's
I know
no
there was
way.
something else. I was like,
Yeah.
what other?
I always thought it was something else, but no, it was
it was
cowbells. They just did
cowbells.
the dance from cowbells on TikTok,
They sure did.
Oh yeah, they do.
which was hilarious. But
But I would say like the only thing Danielle Panabaker and that whole Panabaker family is doing is she basically is reviving her character from Sky High on this last season of The Flash, and it really don't make sense.
Oh, is she on? I didn't realize she was in The Flash.
oh yeah,
season
she's
one.
been in there for a while.
I haven't watched The Flash since the first season
Mm.
because they need to be better.
They tried this last season, and it went downhill.
Oh
I'm
no,
not surprised. Just like Arrow went down.
It's almost over.
you still watch Arrow?
I didn't watch the last two.
But we can go on and on.
We can go on and on.
But now we're gonna take a short break, and we'll be right back with the weekly burb after a word from our sponsors.
Be right back.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bro, they just took my whole bit. Wow.
Nah, I don't like that. That's better.
It's time for the weekly blurb.
And we back.
I do that every time. Y'all just can never see it
Or hear it.
or hear it.
I see it. Actual sound of it. Hey, yeah, we are back. Hey, I've missed you guys.
Woo.
It's weird not being on camera side where I'm talking most of the time.
I know.
Get to save my voice. It's like
Good break.
Yeah, it's like the episode of Family Guy where it's like, why isn't Peter talking this much? It's like, are you taking a break this week? Is that for all the characters? How come you get a break? But this is the weekly blurb where we talk about stuff and things and all the things. And I'm taking that little break again because I'm not going first.
Woo.
Woo.
I'm going first. We decided off camera this time.
Happy International Women's History Month.
Boom. So my weekly blurb is tied into the first segment because we forgot to mention arguably the most iconic
What do you
USA
mean?
original.
We forgot. We planned this.
Oh yeah. Psych. Now this is a show. If you have not seen it, I think you've been under a rock because it's very well loved. It's about this guy, Sean, who possesses an ability he's very keen on his surroundings. He's very aware of everything around him. And at the beginning, he ends up getting convicted of a crime that he solved because he's a detective. And he ends up tricking the people into thinking he's psychic. And so the entire series is him
Trying to keep up appearances.
Yeah, trying to keep up that he's psychic, hence the name Psych.
This is one of my favorite Chaos Ensues shows.
Every episode is like that heightened stress because you're just so worried that he's going to get caught.
We're going to let Intrusive Thoughts win. That's the name of this whole show.
You trying to mute me?
No, I was muting myself. I unmuted myself. See? Okay. I understand. I understand now why you assumed that last time. Wow. Shots fired. No, I was asking is this show basically Intrusive Thoughts, the TV show? Because I've seen like bits and pieces of it where like they're faking names and
Not so much Intrusive
almost like
Thoughts.
improv the show almost, but like scripted improv to a degree.
Yes.
Like the main character and like Dule Hill are just like kind of have to bounce off each other to make sure that
It's another one of those shows that's like hinges on chemistry.
Yes, absolutely.
Um,
and his
like
partner.
5 movies now after. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Do they have movies?
I know there's one movie.
It's like
Are there really
yeah,
3?
no,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They said they would do one movie and then next thing you know it's like, all right, we're on the 3rd one. I'm like,
Yeah. This is true.
oh,
I will say, I remember when he said I could fix that
iconic.
And
in an
holes.
No, and he says it in an episode of Psych,
Oh yeah.
and everybody just kind of looks at him. It was just one of those perfect little like
There are 3 movies.
wink movies, like wink moments. It's hilarious, and I was like, "Oh, you making me cry."
He's great. But yeah, this
I could fix that.
great chemistry, great show. It ran for
Not long enough.
not long, but you have 3
2006
movies.
to 2014. There's, I mean,
That's substantial. What is that?
8 years.
8 years.
Plus 3 movies.
That's a long time. That's,
Yeah,
that's sometimes
solid franchise.
yeah, you don't need to overdraw it. Grey's Anatomy. But yeah, that's my time. Ryan, what you got?
I have no cough moment. All right.
So, my weekly blurb is a little bit of a switch up. I gotta give it up to Jeremy because I made him a promise about a year ago. I told him that when he started watching One Piece, I'd go back and I'd push my way through My Hero because he's watching my favorite. I'd watch his favorite, and it is.
Hey, look at that. I'm on Dressrosa and he's caught up to the manga.
I'm about to
Way
start
go,
reading
boys.
it. I do not understand how a show that was so surface level for like a good 50 episodes just decided to crank it up a notch. But man, like they do so much good villain development and just take the time to establish that these are like, they still have feelings, but these are like bad people.
They're legitimately bad people. Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about season 5 because that is when they do My Villain Academia and you get to actually spend episodes and episodes and episodes.
It's all like 12 episodes where it's just the villains. Like none of the main characters are there. It's literally we're focusing on this villain story why these villains are the way they are, and like how it leads up to the whole Paranormal Liberation Front and the whole war against literally good and evil.
Yeah.
Ooh,
man.
yes.
The I knew the episode was gonna be a banger when I looked at the title and it said Tomura Shigaraki Origin, and I said, "Ooh, we getting details." And man, I was
why
watching
he
it.
is the way he is.
Yeah, man, we had a drive to Miami for work this past weekend, and so I was like, I downloaded a bunch on my phone because Crunchyroll can let you do that now.
Bet.
And I just started going through it, and I was back there just next. Like I was skipping stops. Like I'm usually not very good about like not getting out the car when like on like long trips. I have to stretch my legs, but I was in the back. I was like, I don't care. I just need to see what's going on now.
Right.
But man, that is like hats off to them for the development and like the time that they put in to make these characters interesting, because all of them have like interesting powers, but making you feel bad for the dude that you definitely know is going to be like the big bad,
Right.
just humanizing him and then just taking it all away and being like, this is still a psychopath. Like he just does not care.
He's still bad. Very bad.
I think if they handle Shigaraki correctly, I think Shigaraki could be like top 5 antagonists all time, easy. I think he's already up there because like my personal favorite anime antagonist is who you're dealing with right now. Doflamingo is my favorite.
Yeah. I'm digging into Dressrosa, and yeah, he is. Yeah. I still can't believe all of that is happening in one day. Like that is.
We can talk about that later, but that is.
Oof.
It's.
I just remember days and weeks going by of Jay watching this arc and coming back, and it's still the same day.
It's the same day.
Hey, and like.
It's
like Luffy just won his first battle against in the C Block tournament, and I'm just like, this is all like literally. I've gone through at least 15 episodes already, but it's only been like 10 minutes in that world. Like, what is going on?
Dressrosa's the biggest pacing issues in One Piece come in Dressrosa, because if he could have just been like, "Yo, this was 2 weeks," and everybody would have been like, "Cool." But he's like, "Nah, it's one day."
This happens over a 24-hour period.
I got one more thing to say about My Hero, but what did you think about Spikehead's backstory? You gotten through that?
Yes.
What do you think about
the reason that like
Garp punching his head?
Yeah, that was hilarious. I was like, damn. Like, I mean, of course, hockey versus hockey, but like Garp, real deal, just like, doom, like gong noise and everything.
For the people,
flatten his head.
For the people that don't know, there is a pirate whose power basically came from he had a really spiky head, like just a giant. His head came to a cone, and he could use it as a drill.
It came to a point at first, and then
and Luffy's yes,
yeah.
And it was like he could like cover it and make it hard and just torpedo into things. And Luffy's grandfather, the hero of the Marines, Garp, literally punches this man's head regular. It's so funny. And he like just holds this grudge the whole time, and it's great.
Like dude is saying, I'm coming after, like I'm avenging me because your granddad fucked up my head.
Mm.
Yeah,
It was fucked up before.
It's very funny.
It's hilarious.
I will say, I think my biggest like comparison point between My Hero and One Piece is how, because Oda does a very great job of like taking his like side characters and then giving them like feeling, and then in this last like season of My Hero, they did that with Twice, and they made who's very much just kind of a character that's there, but by the time you get through that entire section of like getting to know the villains, and like you're just like, oh man, that's my dude. Why you can't take him away from me now? And then they take him away from you,
him gone,
and it just it breaks your heart.
It hurt.
It hurts.
It hurt.
I did not expect it to hurt like it, but it was sad, man.
For a guy who has the attitude of Deadpool in the comics, where it's literally he's talking, there's two voices that are talking. It's either the main guy or the other guy. And he's annoying all get out, but then you figure out why he's annoying, why he has these two voices in his head, and it's a terrible, tragic thing that happens, and then he dies, and it's like, God damn it, this is
I'll also say, that whole Hawks sequence of him, that was crazy, and then Dabi, I can honestly, I try to be like, ooh, I'm gonna figure things out. I like being
I'm
that
about
guy.
to say how you feel.
No idea.
Yeah,
I,
how'd you feel about
I
that?
had zero clue that was
Yeah.
coming, and I audibly screamed.
I was proud of myself when I was like reading the manga, and I was like, "This is actually about to happen. This is about to happen." Because I didn't know until I like read it in the manga, and then I was like, I figured it out because
Man,
this is the only other like fire quirk.
I didn't
here
think. I didn't even think about it until
Yeah.
he picked up the bottle of water
of bleach.
I was like,
Yeah,
he's turning. I was like, he's gonna turn his hair. And then
No, he was-
all
he
hit.
was-
It just
yeah.
man, peak storytelling right there.
He said, "My name is Name."
Mm.
Had this whole like
That is
had the DNA test. Like,
that is one of the best. That is also one of that is a Davi is also a top 10 villain. I
yeah.
think he does because he doesn't care, and that is a contrast that you don't get with because Shigaraki cares.
Yeah.
He doesn't act like he cares, but Shigaraki cares. That's why he wants to destroy everything because you don't want to destroy everything unless you care. Dabi just does not care.
right.
But yeah, that's my weekly blurb. So shout out to my hero for entering my top 5.
Hey,
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
look at that. Look
yeah,
at that.
Look at
Something I did. I'm happy.
yeah.
Anime.
Proud of yourself.
Anime growth. Let's go.
I now have alerts for when the new episode comes out. So
Woo!
not missing another one of them.
Hell yeah.
Yee.
See, I gotta catch up now.
Please, cause I caught up. And I was like ready to talk about
Weren't
it.
you
Well,
caught up on the
I'm caught up
manga?
on the manga, so I know
Yeah.
it happened. So yeah, it's like when he's talking about One Piece and like I can talk about stuff and he knows what happened because he's read it already. That's where I'm at. Like he can talk to me about stuff because I've already read it. And it's
Yeah, I'm gonna read it and catch up so we can like really talk about it.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
So I'm definitely going last. So do we want our other special guest? She want to promote herself?
Hello.
Hi, who are you?
Hey.
I'm I'm Noivis. I'm Jada Cato.
Woo!
Hey,
We got a
everybody.
celebrity in the building. What?
Okay.
Yeah, we said it.
you
Applause.
famous.
I was just coming to promote myself. You
Hey.
can something that'd be really great is if you followed my social media, Jada Cato Music.
Do it.
JADACATO Music. And you can buy my CD on my website, jadacatomusic.com.
Fantastic.
Where you will also
Yes.
find a recent interview I did called Notes from Home from Alabama News Center.
Ooh.
It's a really good interview. I cried. While
Oh my God, stop.
Not crying. She about to cry again. Oh my god.
yeah.
Anyway,
On camera.
these are all my friends. So love them.
Buy the merch.
Oh my God, we have
Buy the
hoodies,
merch.
even though it's like spring now.
T-shirts.
T-shirt, tank top, show off
It's
the guns.
It is a nice quality.
It really is
t-shirt.
a mug. We'll have stickers at live shows that are coming up that I'll tell you about later.
Okay.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you.
Woo.
Woo. I need some more buttons. Middle Rock on A block. Ansel, you got anything? Promoting? You just happy you on spring break.
Ansley gonna be a
get it.
doctor.
Yes, she
Doctor.
is.
Ansley gonna be a doctor. Yes, sir.
Congrats.
Like
still gonna
2 years
happen.
away, but she gonna be a doctor. Time flies,
We've been in a pandemic longer than that.
Right.
Just think about it. That was just like the beginning of COVID.
right?
That's why I decided to do this now. That, like, I'm going to be stuck in a pandemic.
Might as well. Might as well be a
Yeah,
doctor.
That's how
I
you
mean-
do.
There's other things.
You could be doing.
It could be a whole lot worse. You could have decided to be a crackhead. I'd rather you decide to be a doctor than a crackhead.
Decide to do a podcast.
Decide to do a podcast.
Look at us.
I mean, that could go very bad.
It could.
Fresh and fit.
Look, we're on episode 86.
Hey,
I'm actually keeping count. We almost at 100. Road to 100. I'm so happy.
We still got. We got a plan. We have some fun things coming up for you guys for the 100th episode. But before then, Jeremy, what's your weekly blurb?
We do.
segues
We're gonna talk about it.
All right.
in the works.
By the
Keep
merch.
it locked.
TBD.
The Little Mermaid.
Oh,
No, that new trailer came out Oscars night. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I'm happy.
I'm pumped.
Halle Bailey is going to kill it as Ariel. I do have some thoughts about the animals because I'm not ready for another National Geographic movie. Looking at you, Lion King 2019.
What about the like live action can we just not get right? Because
the uncanny valleyness of it, because we're so used to the cartoons.
And it's weird to watch them enunciate words.
Right, with like actual animals, and it's almost like I would rather have it be like a Jim Henson Muppet before it be a live action character. And I mean, I get it, like we have the technology and stuff like that. But let me start the good. Halle Bailey is Ariel, awesome, amazing. She could sing. We saw that in the teaser trailer. Melissa McCarthy, she could sing. I'm excited to see her as Ursula. She got the laugh. She got the evil. I could see all of it happening. Great. King Triton. What's his name? Great actor.
Oh, Indominus? No.
What's his name? How you do that? Un momento, por favor.
I know David Diggs is
David Diggs is Sebastian.
Sebastian.
What's his name? Oh my God.
Sebastian got bars now, y'all.
That's what I'm excited about. Javier Bardem. Found that out. Yeah. Pulled that out of my hat. He is playing King Triton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ryan has thoughts, and we can actually see his face have thoughts this time.
I do have thoughts. But,
Yeah.
I'll wait till I see the movie.
Okay. Because he looks like angry father.
Who's her mom?
Well, she dead, so.
I know, but. All right.
Also, I mean, if we see the other sisters be all different ethnicities, then we know that King Triton got around.
I mean,
around.
He's Greek god. They don't understand monogamy.
You're right. But yeah, no, that's good. Like I said, it all looks like, I mean, it visually looks stunning.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see all of that, of course. Growing up with the animated movie, and now we get to see it with Black Girl and Locks. And yeah, it's gonna be dope. The negative
looks so good.
It does. It looks great
Underwater.
underwater. She I saw the reactions of them watching it. She said that she almost like choked when she like jumped out the water and like did that iconic shot of like the silhouette of her hair going back, because like you can see it in the trailer, like her hair goes back and then it cuts back some more because her hair is so heavy with the locks.
Yeah.
So like it pulled her back, and it was like, I see it.
Yep.
Dreadlocks all day. But I would say some negatives are things that they probably could have changed. I need Disney kind of to work on with just the future of, if you're going to do remakes with cartoon characters, just make them cartoony. We understand.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah.
It's Disney. You're Disney. It's fine. We understand it. I know this is for a new generation, but also you're going to have the parents of the old generation who watch the cartoon want to come see it.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to, because I watched that trailer so many times already, I've gotten used to Sebastian looking weird. He looks like the actual crab that is based off of, which is like two eyes that are just jetting out of a shell. And it's, unsettling at first.
And Flounder.
Yeah, Flounder is I mean, I know he wasn't like a specific species in the original thing, but like it's like,
It's creepy,
it is
though.
creepy. It's creepy. I kind of wish Scuttle was an actual seagull. I don't know what they did with Aquafina and that.
What is she? Oh,
she's Scuttle.
But is it not a?
She's not a. It's not a seagull or not seagull. It's not a.
I didn't catch that in the
pelican.
trailer.
Yeah. I guess they wanted to keep it within the region of wherever Little Mermaid actually takes place in the book. I don't know.
I'm not saying why did.
But why is
Is it
Aquafina?
not a
Why is
sequel?
Aquafina?
But why is Aquafina?
Why is Aquafina?
I think Disney has, or Aquafina has like a secret.
What does she
soap
have
opera.
on Bob Iger? Because she got to have something on him.
From Shang-Chi to Little
Her
Mermaid.
people
I don't
have
know.
something on Iger.
Some.
Lord.
Maybe it's a like trying to media cater like change
Rehab her image, yeah. You
Her
know what else would
Disney
rehab her image? An apology.
Facts. Literally any acknowledgement.
Any acknowledgement. And I'm sorry. My bad. That's all I need.
Basically. But overall, I am excited for this movie. We got not much of that time left before we have to do the send-off. But Lin-Manuel Miranda is helping, not Howard Ashman. What's the other guy?
Alan Menken.
Alan Menken. Yeah, so we got the OG coming back. We got Lin-Manuel Miranda coming through with the music. That he said that's his favorite Disney movie of all time.
Yeah.
So, he's putting his love, care, and tenderness all up in that movie with the music. David Diggs and Sebastian is going to be. I'm excited for Under the Sea because he gonna drop some bars. There's gonna be extended version. It's on and popping. And that is my weekly blurb. Thank you guys for listening and watching this Bizarro World episode where Jeremy's behind the camera. Jay's not here. Ryan and Miriam, great job, guys.
Thank you.
Y'all did.
Go team.
Fantastic. This won't be the last time that this happens, but it's definitely a great first time with the switch up.
Woo.
And you can find us at Blurred Survival Guide on Instagram and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Blurred Guide on Twitter and TikTok. Blurred Survival Guide on Google. You can shop with us at Redbubble at Blurred Survival Guide. Find all the things. Yeah. Just type in Blurred Survival Guide wherever you can see Blurred Survival Guide, and Blurred Survival Guide will Blurred Survival Guide. Blurred Survival Guide.
It's a Blurred Survival Guide.
Hey, and my personal is at That Dancing Blurred, and y'all are on camera, so you gotta say your handles this time. Ayo.
Mine is at Yes It's Ryan K, which is at symbol YESITSRYNK.
And mine is at symbol. It's ITS just MRM. Merm. That's me.
Hey, shout out to our silent guest tonight who decided to hang in there with us. Shout out to Jada. Shop with Jada Cato. Find all her merch.
That's right. Jada Cato Music.
Yeah, Jada Cato Music.
.com.
Official. But other than that, keep surviving, everybody.
Listen to the theme song.
That's so different.
We're back.
Taylor King.
DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurred Survival Guide until the end. DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurred Survival Guide until the end.
Oh, we back at it again. Jay, Jeremy, Miriam, Ryan, friends until the end. What's new this week? That is our mission. Spoiler leaks, not our ambition. Call us geeks, come on now listen. Black and nerdy's our position. Blurred boys, y'all know what to expect. Enter the podcast, we come in correct. Survivalist world, we coming for the throne. Blurred boys, survivalist zone.
DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurred Survival Guide until the end. DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blurred Survival Guide until the end. Hey, 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 hey.
Taylor.
It's the Blurred Survival Guide. It's the Blurred Survival Guide. It's the Blurred Survival Guide.